What's up guys, it's your boy Zion and I'm bringing you another Destiny video. In this one, we're going to be taking a look at my Sunbreaker builds. It's something I've had to explain to people and stuff a lot in the game because I have a couple very interesting builds, or I should say one's very atypical and one is really useful and weird to think about, and a lot of people don't do it. So, one of the builds that I use is a pretty typical setup for a Sunbreaker. I enjoy the thermite grenade, which sends a burning line, because I can usually throw this in a way that the enemies just run straight at it and it fucks their day up. Pretty easy. I like the fusion and the incendiary grenade. If we're doing crucible, I'll switch to them, but for the most part I always have a thermite grenade. Then I do the increased control jump because I can go ahead and kite. So basically with this, I can go ahead and jump and go ahead and tap A, so I drop jumping, but then if I jump again, it just pushes me forward. So you can kite really easy with the Titan and get around pretty quick. You throw a sword into this mix and it's like, wow. So then I go ahead and I usually run Forge Master for a specific reason. As much fun as Sun Charge is, I have trouble hitting it myself, so I don't like it. Plus, why would I want to run up and punch someone if I can throw a hammer? So Forge Master works, and the sunspots are cool. They do a lot of damage, but that's on a single non-moving target. I'd rather have my super for clearing ads, and then I can do shit tons of damage myself. So I'd rather have the increased hammers and bigger explosions. This synergizes later on. So this is my first really weird build, you could say, because I throw more hammers and stuff, but the key to this build isn't your super. It comes down to your Sunstrike, where you have your melee override. I use Stoke the Forge because if you go ahead and get a kill with your Sunstrike, or you punch someone to death basically, it instantly recharges your Sunstrike. So you can literally punch people over and over again. As long as you get the killing blow with your melee override, you get it right back. So I use this and it goes ahead and synergizes later on. I also run Titan Codex, one because I want all the armor I can get, especially in raid situations and things like that. Agility isn't that useful for me. As a Titan, I don't have to move super fast. I'm not too worried about that. Then where it comes here, I use Flame Seeker or Explosive Pyre. I switch them out because what basically ends up happening is most of the time I'm wearing Immolation Fists when I'm running Sunbreaker. So I use Flame Seeker because the Immolation Fists give me Explosive Pyre anyway. So I have tracking hammers that when people die, they explode with both of my builds, because 95% of the time I run my Immolation Fists. So yeah, that's why I use Flame Seeker. The Fleet Fire doesn't really interest me. I'd rather have the tracking hammers. Then over here, I go ahead and run Titan Codex 4 because I'd rather have, like I said, more armor. I mean, the recovery would be nice, but I like having all the armor I can because I tend to do stupid shit and run face first at people and get my shit fucked in. Yeah, so all the armor helps me out getting out of those sticky situations. And then the fallback is I use Cauterize. Now, this synergizes really well with Stoke the Forge because I can punch people, it goes ahead and it causes a burning effect. Every time I punch them, it makes a dot on them that's burning. However, if I get the killing blow, it doesn't technically put a dot on them. You don't see the dot and it doesn't like tick off any damage. However, you killed them with a burning ability. So you go ahead and regenerate health every time you punch something, basically. So I can run around, get shot constantly, and almost never die as long as I can keep punching people to death. So, really awesome build. It works really nice. My second one, if we would go into, I change the Stoke the Forge to Melting Point, and then I go ahead and leave everything else the same. As much as Simmering Flames and Firekeeper are awesome, I don't use Sunspots ever really because I'm not going to waste one of my hammers and throw it at the ground to give me an overshield and make my hammer soul last longer. And Simmering Flames, I usually use my grenade and melee all the time, but I like using my super the instant I get it because it clears ads way faster. So Cauterize works for me. I never die. in this type build if I'm doing things correctly. If I'm using Stoke the Forge on the Nightfall from last week, where it was solar burn with Brawler, and you could punch things, got me through a lot, because I constantly had my health and my shield recharging, because I would just run up to the ads and punch them and one-hit them. So, really awesome builds. I like it a lot. I'm going to go ahead, because I don't think a lot of people have seen this Stoke the Forge Cauterize combo. So, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't find a couple people to go ahead and have fun getting shot at, lower my health, and then I'm going to try to punch people over and over again. Can you shoot at me? There we go. So, like here, my health is going down, I'm getting sniped. Bop! Health recharges. Run over and go ahead and punch him, and he doesn't die. Now, if I go ahead and did this correctly, and I probably should have, if I went ahead and had shot him in the face, it would go ahead and kill him. But that's one of the risks you run, is do I go ahead and try to punch everyone or just kill people? So as you saw, it's a really cool combo. If you were doing this on an encounter like the Crota raid or something where they were Thrall all the time constantly damaging you, it would be absolutely insane, because you could literally walk through the entire maze and just punch and constantly have your health recharging. Especially if you do Immolation Fist and you spec them out to the point where you're going to go ahead and be able to punch faster. So your increased melee attack speed, I can sit there and punch, and it's not on a bad timer. You can constantly regen health, and it's fucking awesome. So thank you guys for watching. Those are my builds for my Sunbreaker. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, learned something, maybe want to try out one of my builds. But the one is pretty atypical, I think. I don't think the one build with the Immolation Fist is anything special, but the Stoke the Fire Cauterize one is absolutely insane, and I actually learned it from a buddy of mine. So, yeah, really cool subclass where all you got to do is manage your punches and your damage correctly, and you never lose health. Yeah. So, thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, a comment, a favorite, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys later. Peace.